All right. It's your favorite political innovator, David Washington. What happens when solid red districts suddenly show cracks? April 1st, Florida special elections revealed a political landscape shifting under Republicans' feet, with Democrats making historic inroads in Trump country despite losing both races. Welcome to Ground Zero, Florida, where we break down the Sunshine State's political landscape without the sugarcoating. I'm your host, David Washington. That's right, your favorite political innovator here at JM Washington. And today we're examining the recent special elections in Florida's first and sixth congressional districts. 2 weeks ago, these races grabbed national attention despite being in ruby red Trump country. Republicans won Florida's special elections in Florida Congressional District 1 and Florida Congressional District 6. However, with dramatically smaller margins than Trump's 2024 blowouts. Democrat Gay Vallimont flipped Escambia County, a first in nearly 2 decades, while both GOP candidates underperformed Trump by 16 to 22 points. Military voters, education levels, and candidate quality all factor into these unexpected results. Let's set the stage. Florida's first congressional district backed Trump by a massive 37 points in 2024. The sixth district, Trump plus 30. These aren't just ruby districts, they're Republican fortresses, period. So when both GOP candidates won by only 14 points this past election, political analysis took notice. They went crazy. I want to be crystal clear. Republicans won both races, period. However, winning doesn't tell the complete story. In the first district, Jimmy Patronis faced Democrat Gay Vallimont. The district is 55% registered Republican. 55% registered Republican. Democrats account for only 21 representation of registered Democrats. 21% registered Democrats in Congressional District 1. Even with the Democrats turning out at a higher rate than the Republicans, Republicans still had a 29-point advantage in total ballots cast. Let that sink in. 55% registered Republican, 21% registered Democrats in CD1. Republicans had a 29-point advantage in total ballots cast. Patronis, however, only won by 14.8 points, underperforming Trump by a stunning 22 points. Perhaps even most shocking, Vallimont flipped Escambia County. This marks the first Democrat to win there in a federal race since Bill Nelson's Senate victory in 2006. Some bright news, some sunshine there. Just months ago, Trump carried the county by 19 points. So that's a significant shift. Let's talk about the 6th district. Controversial Republican Randy Fine defeated Democrat Josh Whale. While national Republicans panicked and poured resources into saving this seat, Fine underperformed Trump by 16 points. 16 points. Let's be brutally honest here. Democrats spent millions on races they knew they would not win. Their voters were outnumbered by massive margins. And what universe is investing heavily in districts where Republicans outnumber Democrats by more than 2-1 considered a smart strategy? Let me repeat that. In what universe is investing heavily in districts where Republicans outnumber Democrats by 2-1 considered a smart strategy? I recall a conversation with Gay Vallemont shortly after the former representative, Matt Gaetz, decided to resign his seat after being selected by President Donald J. Trump to be his Attorney General nominee. I left the conversation knowing that Vallemont had a significant uphill battle against any Republican challenger. I knew this early. I had this conversation, and I expressed the experience and knowledge that I have to candidate Vallemont, and I wish her the best. However, here's where it gets interesting. Democrats might have lost the battle while winning valuable intelligence for the war. This, these results expose potential GOP vulnerabilities that could matter in November 2026 during the midterms. Battlefield intelligence is important for the next time if you know how to do it. Matthew Isbell, a Florida election data analysis, points to several key factors explaining the results in CD1 and CD6. First, demographics. The district has higher college education rates and a significant military population. That's in CD1. As Isbell noted in his commentary, these communities have directly felt the impact of recent controversial federal budget decisions affecting veteran services. It is what it is. Meanwhile, the 6th district is more rural and working class, exactly the type of cultural MAGA territory where Trump's support remains strongest. Yet even there, find struggle in coastal and suburban areas. Candidate quality clearly mattered. Neither Republican lived in their district, a classic vulnerability. But Randy Fine carried additional baggage as a particularly divisive figure, which explains why national Republicans had to rescue his campaign with last-minute investments. The Republican cavalry arrived for Fine with both money and mobilization. Election day turnout in the 6th was exceptionally Republicans. They know how to show up. Exceptionally Republican turnout on election day, far more so than in the 1st district. This suggests the GOP's emergency get out the vote efforts helped minimize Fine's underperformance relative to Petronas in the 1st. The late money was supplied to get out the vote efforts that mattered the most. Good thinking. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Did Democrats waste resources on unwinnable races from a pure win-loss perspective? Absolutely. Absolutely. They spent millions knowing the math was fundamentally against them. It also did not help that there was scandal regarding one of the Democrats' most productive fundraisers, Jackson McMillan. Again, as your political innovators have stated numerous times, political investment isn't always about immediate victories. These campaigns functioned as large-scale field experiments, testing messaging and turnout operations in hostile territory months before the November 2026 election cycle really kicks into full gear. Think about Democrats, what the Democrats may have learned. One, veterans healthcare resonates even in deep red districts. Second, education levels correlate with Republican underperformance. Third, mail-in and early voting Republicans were more likely to split their tickets than election day voters. Some good insight. One, veteran healthcare. Two, education levels correlating with the Republican underperformance. And three, mail-in and early voting Republicans were more likely to split their tickets than those Republican Election Day voters. These insights are no brainers that could prove invaluable in true battleground races. However, I'm still a little skeptical here. Florida hasn't been competitive statewide in recent cycles. Republicans hold supermajorities in the legislature and all statewide offices. Moral victories don't change power dynamics. Solid strategies and a willingness to meet all voters where they are winning strategies. We, as political consultants, have to understand that. We need to build solid strategies and have that willingness in the campaigns that we're managing, consulting on. We have to have a willingness to meet all voters where they are. So, what should we take away from these results? First, Republicans shouldn't panic, but should pay attention. Winning only 14 instead of 30 plus points in safe seats suggests potential erosion in their coalition. If similar shifts occurred in swing districts, the results would be catastrophic. Second, Democrats need to be realistic. I mean, really. Besides having a lack of leadership, Democrats need to be realistic. Overperforming in ruby red districts does not automatically translate to flipping purple ones. The political environments are fundamentally different. Be honest with donors and voters about the significance of special elections and the dynamics of winning them. Third, candidate selection matters enormously. Whatever party you're from, both parties should look closely at how candidate quality affected these races. And finally, we need to watch similar districts beyond special elections from this point moving forward. Will these patterns hold when turnout is higher and the midterm and presidential races dominate? Or were these special elections anomalies? In closing, this special election analysis, even in defeat, Democrats expose small vulnerabilities in Republican strongholds that signal broader electoral challenges for the GOP beyond just candidate quality. If you found this analysis valuable, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a comment or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10. I'd love to respond to a comment, and we hope that you bring your facts and have a tactful conversation. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Let's keep the conversation going in a tactful and respectful way. Tell your family and friends, those influencers in the community, including candidates and elected officials, about our content on the Jay in Washington Network. This is Ground Zero Florida, a Jay in Washington Network podcast. I'm David Washington, reminding you that in politics, what matters isn't who just wins, by how much and why. We'll see you the next time, and thank you for tuning in. Take care. God bless. Love you.